Hi, so we're going to be talking about Python dictionaries. We're inside this free account at IBM's Big Data University. Mainly, we're just using it for the access to the kind of cloud-based Jupyter Notebook here. It's a data scientist network, scienceworkbench.com. You could use any Jupyter Notebook installation. You could use it on your own computer. It'll work kind of just the same. So you can just go over to the GitHub repository that's in the comments and download it there. In our case, we're going to click on Jupyter Notebook and we're going to go into the search bar. We're going to paste in the URL of the GitHub IPython notebook in the raw format here. Also, you can just copy and paste it from the comments below or from your assignment. We're going to enter. There we go. Okay, so in this case, we're going to choose everything we're going to be doing is in Python 3. So once again, we're choosing Python 3. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, so dictionaries are another type of collection in Python. Okay, so we already had lists, right? That was the kind of the type of collection we were working with. So now we have dictionaries. So now lists are where we just had values and they had a location in the list, right? That we it was position 0, position 1, position 2, right? Now in the case of dictionaries, they're key value pairs, right? So we have a key, right? Okay, and we have a value. So we have John as the key, 938477566 is the value. Right? And so we can look things up by key, we can look things up by value. It gives a lot more flexibility, right? Okay, so we can do things a couple different ways. All right, we can initialize an array. So notice the one major thing, or not major thing, but the way you can tell when you initialize something, if it's a list or an array, is by the container that you use. So an array, sorry, a list or a dictionary. I said array. Python does not have arrays. So we'll have NumPy arrays in just a little while. But the list and dictionary, list is going to use square brackets, and a dictionary is going to use this curly brace. Okay. Now I say curly brace. I don't, that's just what I've used for years. So whatever you want to call it is fine. It's this thing right here. So, okay. So when we initialize the dictionary, we're going to use this curly braces, right? Okay. Now you can initialize an empty dictionary and then start to add in values by just saying, okay, there's a value called John and it equals that. There's a value called Jack and it equals that, right? Okay. Now, let's see what happens when we print this phone book. Okay. What do you notice right off the bat? Okay, well, what you should notice is that things don't stay in order, right? So we had a John, then Jack, then Jill. But when we print it out, we got Jack, then John, then Jill, right? Let's try it again. Okay, that time we got the same value, right? Okay. So what you should be noticing is that lists are not ordered, dictionaries are not ordered like lists are, right? Okay, they're not in order, right? Okay, so now we can go ahead. We can also just create a dictionary right when we instantiate, or when we create an instance of it, right? So we don't have to wait. We can just create a dictionary already with values inside of it. And notice once again, now this is separated onto separate lines, but if we collapse this onto a single line, it's kind of easier to see, I think. Okay, so is it just like a list, a dictionary is each item is separated by a comma. Okay, it's just instead of one item, it's a key value pair, right? So the key is John, the value is this number. The key is Jack, the value is this number. The key is Jill, the value is this number. Okay, so key value pairs. All right, so we can also create a list just like this, where we just say, okay, this is the list, and we can also create a dictionary just like this, and we say, okay, so this is the dictionary, and it's these keys with their values, right? Okay, notice once again, Notice once again that things are not ordered correctly, right? Okay, now why is Jack in front? You tell me. Well, I can tell you that that Python's not concerned with the order of dictionaries. Okay. All right. So iterating over dictionaries. Now this is really where those for loops really come into play here. Okay. So they're fantastic. All right. All right. So for name, comma number, and phone book dot items. Okay. So notice we got a couple of things here, right? So we have phone book. So we make this dictionary, right? We have key and value. Okay. Now notice that we're mapping this, well, not mapping, but we're saying that it's name and number, right? So in the key value pair, the name is going to be John. The number is going to be, the value, right? And then in phone book dot items. So notice that phone book is the dictionary returning the items in items, right? That's the items, we have to call the items function to return that the thing that we're going to iterate through, right? Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so phone number of Jack is, okay, so we go first one, we get Jack back. Okay, so the name, we print name and number, right, in our print function. So phone number of %s is %d. %s is going to be the first value. %d is going to be the second value. Okay, so it substitutes those in. Then we do John, right? Then we do Jill. Okay, moving a value. There's two ways to remove a value. Okay, we can either use del for delete, right? And then we specify with the, we specify, hey, go get the John key out of the dictionary phone book and delete it, right? Okay. Therefore, we only have two values. We can also use the key, use pop. Okay, same difference, right? Okay, both will delete a value. All right, so we're going to go ahead, exercise, add Jake to the phone book with phone number, this phone number, and remove Jill from the phone book. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a second. You pause the video, and I'll be back in just a minute. You try to complete the exercise, and then when you're ready, unpause the video. Okay, so we're back, and so you should have paused the video. You should have your answer written down here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to add another value, right? So that's easy enough. So essentially, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and do. So our phone book is our dictionary. Our key is Jake, right? Oops. Okay, our key is Jake. Our value is, what is that? 938, whatever that is, 938273443. Okay. Okay, that's our first one. Okay, if Jake in phone book, right? So that's a great, look at that. If Jake in phone book, so Jake in phone book, we were able to test very easily for whether Jake's in there. Okay, and then we test if Jill not in phone book. Okay, so then we're going to test that Jill has been removed. Okay, remember we're going to go ahead and use pop in this case. So phone book pop, and we're going to feed in Jill, right? So it's going to look for Jill and remove her record. Okay, there we go. Jill is not listed in phone book. Okay, so so that is your answer right there. So go ahead and double check. You should be able to run your code and see that output at this point. Good luck. Okay, if you're working on an assignment, go ahead and do File, Print, Preview, and you're gonna Control P, and you're gonna save it as a PDF and turn that in. If you're working on your own, do a couple of new things with the dictionaries here. They're really useful. Dictionaries are used everywhere, and it takes you right into all kinds of the new, not new, but very prevalent data formats like JSON and YAML and all of that. So, okay, best of luck.